what I consider to be my more important items that I have and carry daily. Just testing the audio here. Well, this is it. The long-awaited what I do, what I have. So, in this week's episode, the video... No, don't worry. It's not going that way, that's for sure. Listen, there's been a few of you asking what I carry. If I was to go through everything that I have, it would just be stupid. So I've just spent about half an hour going through my stuff, and I've put aside here what I consider to be my more important items that I have and carry daily. As somebody living in the urban wilderness of a city, these are things that if I was to lose any of these, I'd replace them pretty smartly, yeah? And it's in no particular order. I'm just going to grab something. A lot of it's going to be self-explanatory. I've done the sleep system, so you know that. If you're interested in the sleep system, there's going to be a link somewhere on this video at the end, wherever. That's that. And then, of course, we've got the brew kit. The number one in my book. There's no better way to start the day than with a hot drink. Whatever that hot drink is of your choice. Yeah. But to me, a cup of tea first thing when you're still in your sleeping bag sets you up for the day. Oh, so good. So good. That's probably about my 5th cup so far this morning. And I think we're just touching 10 o'clock, I don't know. So yeah, there's no particular order. I'm just going to pick someone up. It's going to be pretty self-explanatory, most of the time, I would say. If not, why I have it. First off, bug repellent, along with lavender oil. Works good for the harder shelled bugs and creepy crawlies like your fleas and your beetles and things like that. If you're in somewhere that has the potential to have fleas, a few drops of this around your sleeping area. Works just the same with salt for slugs, yeah? Keeps them away. They don't like it. It penetrates their hard shell, their exoskeleton. Definitely don't like that. Bug spray. Probably out of the time of year now where we need to use that, now that we're heading into autumn, but that certainly came in handy through the summer and spring, that did. Scapper tape, or just any tape. Doesn't matter what sort of tape. Always handy. Fixing, whatever. Again, I'd replace that. Gloves. A good pair of gloves, especially these parks, these royal parks. There is a lot of those brambles, the blackberry bushes with the thorns. And sometimes you've got to clear them out of the way. And these gloves, I'm not sure what they're leather with a good interior, but I can grab the vines of the thorns with these like that. Good hard, pull them out of the way, and it doesn't penetrate through. They're bloody good gloves then. Backup gloves just in case I lose these. These are nothing flash, just a pair of warm walking gloves, hiking gloves. Backup pair, they were squirreled away. I'd forgotten about those in their little side pocket. I will also go over my bag and the things I've got on my bag that I deem necessary as well. Bicycle repair, pump, puncture repair, and just a simple multi-tool Allen key. Just so I can fix my bike if anything happens to it. Boot care. These beauties. I do like to look after my boots. So I have a toothbrush, a brush, and some waterproofing wax that I use that is made for leather. For those in the know. This is one of those life straws. I'm sure some of you would have been familiar with this. I don't use it a hell of a lot. It's there basically as a just in case thing. And as I'm not using it at the moment, there is a very sort of a medium saline solution that is recommended to keep in there to stop the filter from drying up and going mouldy, because I have used it in the past. And the backwash syringe. Basic first aid kit. This was something I picked up at a camping store. This is one of my more important items. Just makes sense. It's just a folding cutlery set. I don't like using wooden spoons or plastic spoons. There's a knife, fork and spoon in there. Excellent piece of kit. It was really cheap as well, that was. Sewing kit. Wax cotton and steel cotton. It's unbreakable cotton. You can't even snap this with your hands. It's really good. I do all my own repairs on my clothes. Definitely wouldn't win any seamstress awards. The sewing leaves a lot to be desired, but it does the job. It joins the two pieces back together or puts the button back on the shirt. Very fine steel wire. Don't use it a lot, but if I do need to use a fine steel wire for something, then I have it with me. Some of you are going to bark at this. Some of you are going to know what that is. It's an accessible key, otherwise known as a radar key. There's loads of accessible toilets around London. And I don't use them all the time, but when I do need to use them, even if it's just to get in there and wash the pits and bits, or take care of something where I've got to, take off a fair few clothes just to get to, accessible toilets are a godsend to any person that lives on the street. Provides a private, spacious environment to get cleaned up, do what you need to do, organise things. Very respectful when I do use it. If anybody knocks on the door, if anybody's waiting to go in, I'll let them do it first, and I'll scarper from there. They have priority in my book, but it's there, and it's good thing to have. The blow tube for the open fire, which I do like a good open fire, as you've seen in some of my previous videos. That is good. Pair of tweezers should be with the first aid kit. Thorns, glass, whatever. We all know what tweezers are for. Knife sharpener with a diamond, I don't know what you call them, but it's got the ceramic and the steel sharpeners in there. Keep my little knives. I do carry a knife. Just a little, I thought I'd lost this actually, but I found it in another pocket. It's just a small, the blade doesn't lock at all. It's a loose blade, so it's not a locking one, and that is just under 3 inches well. It's just a little Gerber skeleton knife, just handy. I did have a Opinel curved fruit knife. That has, somebody else has taken possession of that now. Don't know where. Storm matches with striker, just in case. A wireless for all the old school people out there. There's times when you don't want to have your phone on. There's times when you just want to lean back on your preferred little setup. I listen to the BBC News quite a bit and just have some chatter in the background. Not necessarily, you don't want to pay attention to the BBC anyway, but just as a bit of background chatter, and some of the presenters are all right. That's just a digital clock and thermometer, because I'm a bit anal when it comes to knowing my temperatures about the place. That gives me my lowest and my highest within a 24-hour period. A wood saw. Self-explanatory. Sometimes you need to cut wood if you can't snap it. Wet wipes. They are up there with these. Nothing else is jumping out to me there straight away. These are very important. These are something I always have. Wet wipes. They have a multitude of uses, as you can imagine. And the Huggies Pure, one of the better brands that I've come across. I don't like hand gel. It's too sticky. It's pure isopropyl. It's a liquid. It evaporates real quick and it kills any nasties on your hands. I use that a fair bit every time I'm, sort of stop and be stationary for the evening. First thing I do, put a bit of that on my hands and then start prepping food, whatever. Little brolly, got my 2 big ones here for camping, but that is just for every day. Spare bug net, Mandy, thank you. When you're sleeping outside under the stars, not in a tent, a bug net is key. Got another one in there in my sleep system. This is a new one that has just turned up. That was on my Amazon wish list to have a spare. So Mandy, thank you, along with the other little gifts too. Appreciate it. This is a recent purchase from one of those CEX shops. It's a light, basically. It's got different brightness modes. I use it for filming in the dark, but I've also discovered that clips on the wiring mechanism of the brollies underneath. Just they slide in. So I can have my brolly and I've got a light for if I need to see when it's dark. That's really good, actually. It lasts a fair while too. Disposable earplugs. On occasion, you have rowdy people close by that want to party to the late hours under the next tree or the few trees over. Sometimes just chuck in some earplugs and carry on with the piece. We know what that's for. Got a couple of uses. Cooking kit. This is a larger sort of jet boil one. I have harped on about wanting to change this quite a few times. It's all very good for pots of water and things like that, boiling your veggies. But when it comes to using the fry pan, it's not the best. I need to get a different type. I'm actually thinking about just getting like a fuel methylated spirits one or something. It's one of those things I've just not got around to yet. Good little fry pan, that. Very light. I don't know what sort of material it is. It's aluminium of some sort, but the coating on it is tough as nails. It's not a non-stick coating. A little grater for garlic, because I love me garlic. Now this. A good friend of mine by the name of Peter. He's a ex-legionnaire, foreign legionnaire in France, French legionnaire. Told me this trick. And what I do with that, you've got a lot of these fences around the place. The parks are full of them. Private community gardens have them as well. Hook that over the spikes at the top. 2, 1, whatever it takes your fancy. This is hanging down. Don't have that in the gap between the 2 that you've hooked. You put that over to the next one. Put your foot in it, and it gives you a leg over. I use that foot. That's on top of the spikes, and then you can just hoist yourself over. It's like a little step up, little ladder. Very ingenious, that, Peter. Just some bog standard moisturizer for feet and hands and stuff. Raincoat. Part of the brew kit. In here, I have tea bags, salt, chamomile tea, sugar, cloves, peppercorns, fresh freeze-dried brewing coffee, HP sauce, and Heinz ketchup, and a couple of sachets of hot chocolate. Monkey nuts. For when me and the squirrels just want to chill, I can share my nuts with the squirrels. Collection of books. And, of course, the things under here. Under that tarp there, which I'm not going to show you. That pretty much covers it. That's my, what I deem to be important for myself to get by, living in the urban environment outside in a city. Some would say homeless, some would say rewilding. I do have other things. The bag, I've got This is a something I borrowed from a lighting technician at a event I was working at. It's a steel cable with a good carabiner clip on it. And if I'm ever stopped at a cafe or anywhere out in public, I can wrap that around the chair leg and just hook on. Stops the old grab and snatch, off they go sort of thing. And I also use that around a tree at night when I'm sleeping, and I'll come up to the loop here and I'll use the padlock through the 2 loops there so that that's not going anywhere. Even if they unclip that, it's still padlocked, in which time I would have woken up. That's a waterproof bag cover. That's the holder for the little shovel. Little pockets for easy to grab things in there. And that's just a little waist belt pouch that I've got on. That's the cutlery lives in there, toothbrush, toothpaste. Got a couple of pens, some headphones, another little light. A few little things live in there. The radar key and the fire blow stick lives in there as well. That's about it. Thank you.